Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name's Anthony and in today's video I am going to continue to talk to you about my journey to start my own brand. Now in the last video I actually announced my brand and I showed you a few little images of what I want my brand to be and kind of spoke to you a little bit about my plan and what I want to do. Now in today's video I want to talk to you about my suppliers, how I found them suppliers and what kind of suppliers you need to start your own brand. I think in the next video I'll go over how much everything costs me to start and working out margins and things like that. But in this video particularly, I just want to talk about the method I used to find all my suppliers and to figure out what I needed to put into the garment to make it a bit more special. And let me just say, there is a lot that goes into starting your own brand. There's a lot of things that you need to consider putting onto a garment that maybe you hadn't thought about before. I certainly didn't think about it, and I'm kind of glad I broke it down. Otherwise, I think it might have been a bit overwhelming, especially if you're starting up and have no experience in fashion whatsoever. And with that in mind, if you are new here, hi, my name's Anthony. I'm a fashion designer with over 10 years experience working for both high-end, branded, and even fast fashion. And this channel is dedicated to helping you become the best fashion designer possible and also giving you sneak peek behind the scenes of what it is to be a fashion designer day to day with kind of vlogs and things. In this video series, I'm taking you through the process of starting your own brand. This is the first time I'm starting my own brand, so you can come along on this journey, learn with me, and maybe learn from my mistakes as well. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help my channel to grow, especially that like button. You have no idea how much it boosts my video and promotes it with the YouTube's algorithm. Please also leave a comment because I like to chat to you guys and get to know you a little bit better and build this fashion community up. Okay. With all that out of the way, and that was a lot, I want to dive in to the suppliers that I chose, how I found them, and what you need to do if you want to start your own brand and find suppliers as well. I'm going to be really honest, as I've got a background in fashion, I kind of know things to look for and I know the kind of questions that I need to ask suppliers to make sure that they are the right ones for me. So vetting the companies was something that is almost second nature because I have to go through that process with my full-time job anyway. And I think the main thing to consider when looking for suppliers is, are they right for you? Can you hit the minimums that they require? And are they going to help you when you need them? And are they going to deliver on time? They're the three main things that you need to ask, along with costs, prices, and all of that sort of stuff. Now, how did I find the suppliers for all the things that I'm going to go over? I looked in three different areas. First of all, I've got a history in fashion, so I know quite a few suppliers already, and I asked them for contacts for people in the UK who can do certain things. The second is I used LinkedIn. I messaged people directly and I kind of vetted them through that. And the third, I used Instagram. Over the past year, anytime I've seen stock people come up, or printers, or even kind of people who do packaging or anything like that, I've saved them down and I followed them and made sure I've kept a note of them. And when I was ready to start my brand, I contacted them all. Now the first thing that I really wanted to secure were my t-shirts. And I had two options to go down. I could either go down the stock route where the t-shirts are already made to a spec and they've got a certain amount of weight to them and they look a certain way. Or I could have manufactured my own t-shirts completely from scratch. However, there's two different caveats with that. The first one, going down the stock route, is there's lower minimums, it's a lower cost slightly, and, well actually, is it a lower cost? Not really, but it's lower minimums. You don't have to buy as much stock up front. However, the downside with that is other people can also buy into these stocks and other people can use the same blocks and the same shapes. So there might be a few of the same things on the market already. Now, if I went down the creating my own stock from scratch route, that is a longer process and it's more difficult, especially if you are just starting up. And if you've got no fashion experience whatsoever, that might be a more difficult route to go down because not only have you got to come up with the designs, you've got to come up with the block, the measurements, you've got to come up with the tech packs and all of that sort of stuff. And normally I would go down that route, especially in my main job, which is a fashion designer to a fast fashion retailer. But considering this is my own startup brand, all of my own money is going into it and I'm investing quite a lot, I decided to go down the stock route. Now, I didn't want to just go for any stocks. I have actually got samples in the past of a few different places, and there was one in particular that I really liked, and that was called Rue Porter. Now, the appeal of Rue Porter was that it was made in Portugal, which is a really nice luxury place. And overall, the costs weren't too bad per t-shirt. I will say the cost of Snowball compared to where I thought they were going to be. I will go over all the costs in another video where I can break it down and tell you how I have come to the conclusion of what I'm going to sell the t-shirts at and how much each garment's costing me per unit with all the breakdowns. Again, that's another video. That's about margins, whereas this is more about the suppliers. So once the t-shirts had been ordered and I was happy with them, I then had to move on to how was I going to get these printed. It was the same process as before, but this was a little bit more vetting. So I had contacted quite a few people on Instagram, I had spoken to quite a few people on LinkedIn, and I also spoke to a few friends within the industry and where they get their small print runs made. And all in all, I narrowed it down to 2 people that I'd actually found through Instagram. And finally went with one who had higher minimums, but it felt like the quality was better and it felt like their communication was better as well. And in all honesty, communication is key, and it's one of the things that you want to make sure is really, really good. After that, there's loads of other things to consider, like the back net label or any other trims and details that you might want on that the print supplier can't supply. So for the back net label, I actually just Googled woven back net label, and there was a few companies that came up, and one in particular that I've heard a lot about and I have actually used in the past through companies that I've worked at, and that was Wonder Label. So it's actually a company based in Germany, and my products actually got sent out from France, which was a bit confusing, but it takes around 30 days for the labels to arrive, and I ordered them through their system, which is super easy to use, especially if the labels that you want aren't too difficult. The quality is really good. I've used them before and I trust them, so I ordered the back net labels through them. Final thing for the actual t-shirt is I want a rubber badge that is going to go on the t-shirt, and again I have used a company that I found through Instagram, and these were called Quality Patches. I'll leave links to all of these different places that I'm using the patches from. It's a company based out of California, and they, I believe, make out of India, and the process so far is going really well. They're the only company that I really kind of trusted. I did actually contact a few people about the rubber patches, but I don't know why, this company just gave me a lot more confidence because the process that they use seems really flawless. You send your design in, they make a mock-up as a 3D file so you can review it, make tweaks and changes, and then they make a pre-production sample where you can again review and make changes, and then you can also then order your bulk, and it's all within a set price. So that's all the components for the actual t-shirt that comes along with producing a brand. Now, I'm actually going to go with 2 different colours of t-shirt over one style, and that's how I'm going to launch my brand. So the actual quantities are only going to be around 35 to 40. Whereas if I would have gone down the manufacturing route, I would have had to put down at least 100 t-shirts, and that's too much stock at the moment, especially for a small startup business, and that probably would have cost me a lot more than what I've currently spent. I think in the future, as the business grows and as I kind of develop as a brand, then yes, I will go down the manufacturing route where I'm not going down the stocks as much. For an initial startup, testing the water and seeing how people react to it, I do think the stock route is probably better. Now let's talk about everything else that comes along with starting a brand and the suppliers that I had to find to do this, which is mainly all around the package and delivery. So I had to order tissue paper, I had to order post bags, I had to order stickers, I had to order postage tape, not to mention the website cost that I haven't actually set up yet and I haven't included in my margin. That's going to be additional cost to the business. And I also had to include freelance time because I'm using freelancers to help me do little bits and bobs throughout the process. And all of that comes into costing and working out the margin. So how did I find all of the extra packaging people? Well, the main thing is I wanted it to be as sustainable as possible. I didn't really want a lot of plastic involved. So I, again, went on Google and I searched compostable packaging and mailing bags and all of that sort of stuff. Did a lot of research, saw quite a few reviews on this one particular website and decided to go with them. They did do a bespoke service again where I could have printed my label over it, but I didn't actually want to do that because I am going to have branded, what's it called, like wishy tape or something? Anyway, it's the paper tape with the glue on the back that you can wet and put that on, because I feel like that's more biodegradable and it's better for the environment. So I do have branded washi tape, I think it's called. Anyway, I don't know what it is, but yeah, I've got some branded washi tape and I got all the different components from different places. So I got tissue paper from No Issue. I got my stickers and my kind of paper sellotape from Vistaprint. The paper bags came from Paper Bag Co., which is based in the UK. I'm sure there are a lot of other companies around where you are that you can get these paper packaging from as well. But yeah, that's kind of where I am with my suppliers at the moment. In terms of finding them, vetting them, I had multiple calls, I had multiple emails and spoke a lot about them. I think key questions that you need to be asking, I actually wrote them down. First of all, MOQs. You need to know what the minimum order quantity is when you're talking to them and what that means for you as your brand. You need to talk prices. How much is it for each t-shirt? How much is it to print? How much is it for the rubber badges or the labels or anything like that? You always need to ask that question. It's the most important one. When you're talking to printers, you ask, can you supply your own t-shirts? Some printers like to supply their own t-shirts, where actually I would prefer to supply my own, even though it's more expensive, because I want a specific shape, I want a specific look, and I want a specific weight and quality. You can also ask if they supply garments from the place that you like. Like, I asked quite a few of them, do you supply garments from Rue Porter? Because that would actually save money in the long run, and if they do, then you can just buy their stock of it. The person that I went with didn't, so I had to order them separately. You want to ask about different techniques that suppliers can do as well. So especially if you're talking to printers, you want to know if they can do oil slick, high build, puff print, whether they can do badges, appliques, embroidery, all of that sort of stuff you want to know in advance. And when you're talking to actual garment manufacturers, you want to know what's included within the price, what the grading's included in the price. When you're supplying a tech pack, you need to supply a block for it, or if they can supply a block. Generally, I think if you're a startup and you're going down the route of manufacturing your clothes from scratch, I would present a tech pack without a block and then send a garment that you like the block of. The block is the fit, the shape. Always buy it in a medium and send it with your tech pack and say, this is the shape that I want, but these are the details. But yeah, that's it for today's video. I thought I would jump on and talk to you about my suppliers and where I'm getting things from. T-shirts coming from Portugal. Print is gonna happen in the UK. The backnet labels coming from Germany. The rubber badges are coming from the Far East. And all my packaging and shipping is coming from the UK. But that's it for today's video. If you liked it, give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to click that beautiful red subscribe button down below. Please also check out my Etsy shop where you can buy cards and vectors to help support you in your everyday design life. And it really helps to support this channel and the brand that I'm trying to launch. Otherwise, I'll see you here every Thursday with a brand new video. Alright, okay, thanks for watching. Alright, bye. Cha cha cha. Bye.